Welcome to the Solopreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Munoz. Today is a very special episode because we're going to be covering one of the most crucial shifts that you need that takes you from working in your business to working on your business. And today I'm going to go over specifically a framework I created called the Light Framework to kind of review with you the areas you can start focusing on, right? Because business in whole is a lot, right? However, like the great saying is, you eat the elephant one bite at a time. So my intention today is to give you specific areas that you can maybe take a look at to see if there's any way you can improve in those areas in your business, right? Because majority of us, especially solopreneurs, we are typically caught up into the day-to-day task, right? Especially when you're starting out and you start to get a few customers or you're selling a few products, no matter what business you're in. Typically, when you start running the business, it's like, oh, cool, I'm making money, I got some customers, I keep getting some customers, awesome. And then what tends to happen is we stay in that cycle, right? It's like, all right, we got a customer, let's fulfill the customer. All right, good. We got another customer, let's fulfill the customer. And then we got another customer and fulfill the customer. And then you get busy, which is the first step and it is amazing, right? However, I'm here to remind you that in really to grow the business, the mindset shift has to start focusing on things and like marketing, sales, fulfillment, systems. Maybe it's delegated, right? You want to start putting your CEO hat on. And your CEO hat is figuring out, how do I lead the business? Right. And to do that, when I say working on your business, you want to think about, you have a higher perspective and like you're looking down on your business. And if you can take some time during the week, and I highly recommend scheduling, we'll go through kind of my thought process and kind of my system, how I do it. I recommend really you just stepping out and just kind of looking at your at your business from an outside perspective. And doing so will allow you to make improvements in specific areas that's going to make a huge difference. And spending time on your business, it's super important. And I know we get busy as you're growing your business. However, it's very crucial to take the time to focus on your business, not in your business. So I'm going to go ahead, and today is going to be a special episode because if you are watching this YouTube video, you definitely would want to make sure you're paying attention. If you're listening to this, this is going to be a little trickier to stay up to par when it comes to reviewing what I'm going to show, because I will be showing some diagrams and kind of my process, and then behind the scenes of me working on my business, not in my business. And I'll kind of show you the difference. So what I'm going to do first is share my screen and let's jump right into it. So here's the light framework that I like to focus on. Okay, perfect. Okay. So this is the life framework I came up with. I feel like it's super important to understand when you're wearing your CEO hat, what does that mean, right? I think the first thing you want to think about is the middle part, which I call, the solopreneur. You as a business owner, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your business has a mission statement and a vision statement, right? What is the mission that your business is on? Whether that is to make the best apple pies that you've ever tasted, right? And maybe the vision is to serve my community with warmth by sharing them the sweetest apple pie. So get that. If you're going to do anything right now, really focus on what is it that is your mission and what is the vision that you see. And the reason why I like focusing on this in the beginning is because this is the foundation, right? This is the house that's going to build your business and to allow you sustain a lifestyle so it could fund your lifestyle. Unfortunately, people who don't focus on their business and they're just in it tend to go out of business. And it's so sad to see, especially if you have something so powerful or potent that you're sharing with the world. The ideal situation is to keep that going. And to do that, you have to understand and start focused on specific concepts and processes so you can improve as a whole. So mission, vision statement, highly recommend. You can always go on Google and, Google what's the best mission statement, what's best, give me the best example for vision statements. However, get that clear. The next thing is, what is your core values? Your company's core values is also going to be the foundation of how you build your branding. How do you build your marketing? How do you build your customer fulfillment? Right. And when I built out my marketing company, Growing Out Digital, me and my former business partner spent a lot of time of coming up with our core values, which is really cool because we found everything else we did reflected that. Right. So our marketing reflected that. Our even conversations will come up, and we would just, one of our core values was education. And a lot of clients are like, wow, I can't believe you guys aren't charging for what you're doing for our free consultant session, because they were like, this is amazing. We're like, you know what, we understand we could charge for this, however, we value educating business owners. And that, so many people love that, right? So coming up with your core values. What are your core values? I recommend sticking to like 4 to 6 core values, and really take the time of like, what is your company going to be based off of? Whether that's, some examples of other companies. It's like, is your core value lead with love? Is your core, like one of my core values is shine in my light, and a couple, another core value is wisdom, right? Because I'm really focused on how can I really harness my wisdom and share with others. So it's important, get your mission statement down, get your vision statement down, and then really focus on your core values for your company. The next thing is goals. What are your goals for your business? Right. And I don't care if you're doing this as a side hobby. I don't care if you're doing this as your full-time gig and you have no other income coming in. It's so important to have your goals clearly stated. And I recommend having to start bare minimum as a solopreneur. Doing 5-year goals, 10-year goals are amazing for sure. Definitely recommend, if you want to play into that, you could do 10-year goals, 5-year goals, to kind of focus on really where do you want to be in your business. However, for solopreneurs, I really found that there's two type of goals. It's where do you want to be a year from now, and where do you want to be 90 days from now. So I highly recommend you writing down your 90-day goals. In the next 90 days, what do I want to move forward in my business? A year from now, where do I want my business to be? And having those things clearly stated makes a huge impact in the direction of your business. Because if I tell you to go somewhere and you have no GPS, it's going to be very difficult. If you've never been there before, it's going to be very difficult to get there. Right. So if you never built a business before, it's very important for you to have specific goals on where you want to go. Right. And that could be whatever you desire. Right. I know for a lot of solopreneurs, it's really just maybe replacing your income from your current job. Okay. What does that look like? Right. What is the actual number? My goal is to make $5,000 a month in my business so I don't have to go to my work. Right now, at this point, if you're making more in your business, then you can let go of your job. Or if you let go of your job, what is the amount of income that I need to make to really sustain my lifestyle, and maybe set that for a year goal. But have your goals written down. It's super, super important. So you guys got, this is going to be a podcast with homework. I'm giving you homework. If you listen to this, I appreciate you listening to this. However, um, one of my favorite quotes is that don't allow learning to lead to education because you'll become a fool. Allow learning to lead to action because you become wise. So if you don't have your mission or vision statement and your core values in your 90-day goals and the year goals in your business, pause this video and take the time to do it. All right, let's continue. So that's the first step, right? As a solopreneur, you're focused on driving the business and leading the business. And it's very important to be clear on where are you driving it, right? Where are you in the road? And then where are you driving it? So I highly recommend before doing anything, this is a really important step. And a lot of times as a solopreneur, you could get busy. You can kind of avoid this, right? Because it's easier to just fulfill customers instead of focusing on the business. However, this is very important. And doing this alone has helped me not only bring in specific opportunities in my business, but allow me to attract specific things in my business. Because I did this, I was able to bring in my first client, right? I was able to bring in specific people in my business, specific ideas, goals, people, mentors, right? If you're looking to hire someone, it's important to understand where you're going because it's easier to bring in the help for that. All right. So now you understand the solopreneur is the most important part. It's what builds the outside, which is the business. I came up with specific pillars to focus on to help you kind of focus on your business, right? So the first pillar is marketing. The second pillar is sales. The third is customer fulfillment. The fourth is systems and automations. And then the fifth one is financials. And I'm going to break each one down and then kind of give you a quick overview of what I'm doing to work on my business. So marketing. If you are having trouble working on marketing your business and branding your business, it would probably be important to focus on this area. Or if you're having trouble closing people, you probably want to focus on sales. And when I mention marketing or sales, right, every business is very different. I highly recommend becoming a student and really embodying the learning mentality. And if it's marketing you have trouble with, pick up a marketing book, right? If it's sales you're having trouble with, pick up a sales book. If it's customer fulfillment, pick up a customer fulfillment book, right? Customer fulfillment book, that one of my favorite customer fulfillment book is called Raven Fans. And that book I read years ago when I was managing a karate school with a ton of students. But I really read Raven Fans and I thought I was a fan of the book Raven Fans. And I love the book because it really talked about the power of service and how to truly create Raven fans. If it's marketing you have trouble with, I literally just picked up this book, right? I picked up this book uh this week because I'm really focused on building my personal brand as I'm doing this podcast, as I'm doing other things to put myself out there. I picked up Gary Vaynerchuk's new book on marketing, which is how to actually build brand and sales in the new social media world. Once you look at that, right? So this is me working on my business, right? I'm focusing on how can I sharpen the saw. When you're working in your business, you're just hammering around. You're not hammering the tree with the axe. But when you're working on the business, you're sharpening the saw. So every time you swing, you become more efficient. You work more efficiently. And that's the whole purpose of working on your business, not in your business. Systems and automation, same thing. You want to look in if you're having trouble with systems or automations, you have a good thing called YouTube University. And I still, even to this day, am on YouTube and seeing how I could best systemize my business, automate my business. Financials, super important for you to count your money, understand what money's coming in and what money's coming out. And if you don't have anything, I would highly recommend just Googling it. And moving forward on this podcast, I will be sharing each individual. However, today is going to be a macro level. Eventually, I'm going to different episodes. I'll go over micro levels in each individual. And then today I'm going to walk through my step of how I'm working on the business in these specific areas. So let's dive into it. So right now, so that's my light framework. So right now I'm working on my business. And this is it's a really cool platform called Miro. If you guys don't have ever heard of it, Miro.com. But it's really cool because Miro allows you to kind of brain dump and start dumping ideas into your framework, which is super important. So I highly recommend turn that off. What is going on? I usually don't have new Facebook notifications. Okay. So now we're back. So this is one of the customer journey maps I like to build out for myself and clients. And let me walk you through the kind of process of this mapping and how I'm working on my business. So, what I typically like to map out is your business has a specific customer journey that your client goes through. So, I'm working right now on my customer journey. What is the process that my client goes through or potential clients go through from beginning to end? And I think it's super important to understand. So, I typically started with marketing and sales. So how do people become aware of me? How do I get people to engage with me? How do I get people to consider to hire me as a consultant? And then how do I go through my sales process? Then when I go through my sales process, the next phase is customer fulfillment. What is my customer fulfillment like? And what is my customer success like? And I think it's super important to map this out because, for example, customer fulfillment, this is one idea I started working on this past week. What is my onboarding process, right? What, when a client comes through, what do they go through and what do they get when they become a client? And what's that onboarding process like? So instead of me just saying, all right, I'm going to close a client, work with them and get good results, great. How can I improve that process? I came up with an onboarding process. So I'm coming out with a welcome email with what to expect. So my client's clear. I'm creating an onboarding form. So when my client signs up, what's that process that they can fill out that can gather more information to better equip me as their consultant? And then like send a gift package. I have a sweet gift package that I'm putting together. Can't give it away, but I have a sweet gift package I'm doing with the lamp because that's my brand is a light with a handwritten card. Making sure checking automations to make sure it lands into my project management software, and then make sure our first call is booked, and then I'll update my process. So I came up with the onboarding process last week and now I'm implementing it. So moving forward, every new client I get, there's going to be a really in-depth process that allows a customer to be wowed, right? You want to create raving fans in your business. And how you do that is by creating an amazing customer journey and customer experience. So that's just one example of me spending time during the week, which I highly recommend time blocking your schedule for specific areas in your business. So I block out specific times during the week. So then I know in this time on, for example, on a specific night, I record my podcast. So I'm a busy dad, right? So I'm a dadpreneur and life could get busy. So I schedule out when I'm going to record my podcast at night. So he's sleeping right now. And then how do I get to the next step? Right. So uh, I highly recommend also blocking out times on your calendar. This way you can go ahead and start working and focus on this specific area. Because if you don't schedule it out, typically you'll get busy and you end up doing busy work. And our part of wearing that CEO hat is what is the most efficient things I can do today to move my business forward. And a lot of times I found it's actually not a huge list. It's usually a small, directed, focused list of the things you can work on. And that's why my intention today is to go over that framework with you. Where did it go? To go with framework to start giving you some ideas to focus on, right? So if you're seeing this and maybe you don't have a mission statement or a vision statement or core values or your goals written out, just take the time to write it down. There's power in connecting, writing things down along with having it in front of you and all mapped out. So that's a quick example of me working on my business. A couple other things I'm doing at the moment. I'm focusing on how do I get people to engage with me and aware of me? So I'm focused on creating some lead magnets, right? How can I get people, if they see my podcast, if they see this episode, they want to work with me, how can I get them or push them to something that I can provide value and then in return collect information, whether it's email, phone number, or whatever that you are doing in your business. I highly recommend focus on that. So these are just few examples of me working on my business this just past week. Another thing I'm doing too is like focusing on my tech stack. Like what tools am I really using to help me with my business? Some of these tools are newer, so I have to learn them, right? That's me working on my business. I have to spend time researching what's the best tools, and that sometimes takes time as well too. So I wanted today's episode to be short and sweet, and just to kind of give you behind the scenes of what I'm doing to work on my business. And maybe I'll do an episode moving forward that would be a little bit more intense, and this is all going to be built out. But all I'm doing is focusing on eating the elephant one bite at a time, and I highly recommend you doing the same. So, like I said, if you're going to focus anywhere, these are some good areas to focus on in your business. I highly recommend just spending time with yourself too is important. I think when you allow yourself to think and kind of really feel into where are you in your business and where are certain areas you could focus on that will allow you to grow your business, and then focus on that area, right? So ask yourself right now, is it marketing? Is it sales right now that I'm struggling with? Is it customer fulfillment? Do I not have a process to really allow my customers to feel like they're a Raven fan? Whether if you have a product, right? Is there a little card you can add into your product, right? Is it a little thank you note maybe it's an email you could send out right after they purchase your product, right? Or if it's a service-based business, is there something you can send to them, right? Or is it systems automations? Is there maybe an automation for anyone who buys a product? Maybe you have 2 or 3 emails that are automatically set, right? And then triggers an automation. Financials. Do you even understand what your current revenue is, right? Do you understand how to even understand profit and loss statements, right? Are you unaware of your expenses? Do you not have your expenses mapped out? Right. So I'm just giving you some ideas, and it's going to really take you having self-awareness to figure out, all right, this is the area I really got to focus on. But take this episode as a not a warning. I would just say this as a reminder to spend time during your week to focus on your business and not in it. So today's a short and sweet episode. Just giving that friendly reminder of working on your business is very important. It's one of the biggest shifts you'll make that will allow you to really grow your business consistently, especially over time. And I understand as a solopreneur, things can get caught up. Like even me doing this podcast episode was a little bit much because it's like I'm so busy with a lot of other things that I'm doing, maintaining my current flow, that it's like, man, that's why I set the time to do this podcast, because I know doing this is helping me work on my business. And it's a part of my marketing plan and strategy. So, uh, again, I appreciate you if you stuck along this far. I appreciate you. Feel free to comment below or to DM me on Instagram at soulconsultant.io with any questions you have when it comes to working on your business. Or if you're struggling, say, hey, Josh, I'm not sure where to start in my business. Please feel free to reach out, because my mission is to help shine the light for solopreneurs to grow in business. So that's all, folks, for today's episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment, and just a friendly reminder, be the light.